Welcome to the 25th Hour podcast, where successful business owners talk about the magic of creating a 25th hour every day. I'm your host, Lisa Crilly Malice. We've all been there. Your calendar's in great shape, your to-do list is done, you are totally in the zone. All the balls that you have in the air are being easily juggled. And then something changes. And all of a sudden, chaos reigns. This is the podcast that will help you learn to up-level your time management strategies so you can get back in control of your day and make an extra hour, your 25th hour, a reality every day. Today, my guest is Arielle Minicozzi. She is the founder and CTO of Spynx Automation and a certified Zapier and Mailchimp expert. Along with her husband, Mark, they help financial advisors, accountants, attorneys, and bookkeepers, among others, systemize their workflows and automate their processes using Zapier and other tools. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
We met about a month ago, and I was so impressed with everything that you do with automation. I was like, oh, I have to have her one of the first guests on my show. So I appreciate you carving out the time, because I know that you are incredibly busy right now. And so thank you for doing so.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in and tell me, what are some of the things you do to help you stay in control of your day?
That is a fantastic question, Lisa. I love relying on my calendar. I used to be the type of person who felt like I didn't want to restrict myself by writing my events down or putting them on the calendar. It didn't work very well. And what really got me proactive about putting things in the calendar was the fact that I one time missed a meeting with a prospective client. And after that, I said, you know what, I have to have a system in place for myself. I have to make sure that I don't ever do that again. So I started using my calendar religiously, and it's changed my life.
I've found with working with clients, and I'm sure you found something very similar, that when the pain of moving is greater than the pain of staying, then change happens. And in your case, it was the missed meeting.
Absolutely.
So talk to me a little bit more about your calendar. What kind of stuff goes in it? Everything? Some things?
Pretty much everything. And I use a task management system, which is Trello for me, for my other tasks. If there's something that's going to take me a lot of time, or if I know it's something I've been putting off and I haven't gotten around to actually doing it, then I will also put that task on my actual calendar in Google Calendar so that I can see that I have the time blocked out for it. It pops up, it reminds me to do that thing from my calendar, and I treat it like I would treat a client meeting. It just changes my mindset about it a little bit.
So do you find that scheduling appointments like that and tasks into your calendar have a different mindset to them than when they're just on the to-do list?
It definitely does. And I'll tell you the reason why. The appointments that automatically go on my calendar when somebody books in Calendly are prospective clients and client meetings. And the bottom line is that those are the profitable things that I need to be doing. So by putting something on my Google Calendar, psychologically, it tells me that this is a money-making activity that I need to be doing. And I just prioritize it differently by default.
I love that money-making activities are in the calendar.
Exactly.
That's great plan. And I know that you are the automation queen, though you may or may not call yourself that. I totally call you that. What are some ways that you've used automation to help stay in control of your day, stay in control of your calendar?
There are so many ways. Let me count them. No, just kidding. I love using automation for as many things that will save me time as possible. So anytime I can pass data, client information automatically without having to retype it, done, automated. Anytime I can make sure that I'm sending an email to a client or to a prospective client automatically with instructions that I would normally be repeating the same thing over and over, that's automated. If I have workflows set up in my process street, which I use for my internal processes, or if I have a task that I know needs to get put on Trello when a specific event occurs, it's automated. So not only having the calendar, but also having my automation system make sure that I'm not missing anything or nothing's falling through the cracks. It really just helps me focus as much as possible on actually working with my clients and working on their projects. And the rest of everything else is, for the most part, pretty much automated.
Now you have two businesses.
I do.
Do you use automation in both of them?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit how that looks.
Oh boy. Okay. So I have a financial planning firm. I'm a partner in the firm. And my partner and I, it's funny, we talk about this all the time, especially when we're talking to other financial advisors. We started our own businesses separately before we merged, and we were using completely different technologies as each other. Where I was using Calendly, she was using Acuity. Where I was using Process Tree, she was using Wealthbox for her processes. We had to kind of come together and decide as a team which we would decide to use going forward. And ultimately, what we ended up doing was using most of what she had already put in place so that we could keep the continuity of the client experience. Since we kept her brand that she had originally created, we wanted to keep everything continuous and not cause any issues. So that's what we ended up doing. So for our process internally, we're using Acuity for scheduling. Clients will book a meeting on the calendar. That will go right into each of our Google calendars. If they're booking with me, it'll go into mine. If they're booking with her individually, it'll go into hers. And if they're booking with both of us, it'll go to both of our calendars. We'll, of course, get email reminders from Acuity, and it will kick off a workflow in Wealthbox for the specific meeting that's being scheduled. If there's any email correspondence that the client needs to receive related to that particular event, the client will also automatically get those reminders as well. So they also know what they need to be doing, how they need to be doing it, and when it needs to be done by.
And so that allows you, having all that automated, allows you to have more quality time with your clients, right?
Exactly. And especially having two businesses, I could not possibly be an administrative person in both of my businesses on top of doing the actual work of running the business and working with clients. Being a receptionist or being an admin assistant is a full-time job for many people. And I already have two full-time jobs. I definitely don't need a third or fourth full-time job. So
now you were talking automation, we're talking your calendar. Are there any areas that you find that aren't running as smoothly or as easily as you would hope?
I think everything's a work in progress. That's a really fantastic question. And to be totally honest, both for myself and the clients that we work with within the automation business, there's always things that we want to change and update and make better as time goes on and we acquire more information about what our clients need, what works best for us internally. So I don't know that I can point to any specific area right off the top of my head, but I will say that there, of course, are always things that we're looking to improve, but it's more so a matter of making minor revisions as time goes on and we get more information about what works best.
I love that. Tell us a little bit more about the work you do in your other business with clients.
Yes. So in my other business, we help other financial advisors, bookkeepers, attorneys, accountants, any service-based business that is financial services or a similar related industry to systematize and automate their businesses. Just like what I described with the booking of the appointment, triggering a workflow, sending specific emails. Another really popular thing that we do is create responsive forms. For example, if you have a documentation needs list that you give to your clients and it's a paper document, that's a static, unchanging document. If you want to update that to customize it to tell the client specifically, you need to provide these documents, most of the time that involves figuring out what that client's situation looks like and tailoring it, taking the time to tailor it, I should say, to that client's specific needs. So one of the most popular examples of what we do with forms is we have a documentation needs list generator that we've created. The client fills it out regarding information about their situation, and based on their answers, that list will populate a customized list for the client of the documentation they need to provide. Things like that are what we do in that other business.
So, and this may be asking you to like choose between your two kids, but which one, not that you have two kids, but if you did, but which, is there one that you like a little bit more than the other?
The business, you mean?
Yeah.
I think that they're both completely different. I feel like I have more of an impact doing the automation business. And the reason why I pursued this business when it started to take off and I decided to go full force with it is because I alone can only impact so many people. But if I can help people who help other people, I feel like I can have an exponentially greater impact on the world. And that might sound a little dramatic, but I think it's true. I think financial planners doing holistic financial planning are really changing the world and helping people change their money stories. And I love that work and I enjoy doing it one-on-one with clients, but I also feel like I can definitely have a greater impact by helping other people who help people.
Yeah. And I think this is one of the reasons that we got along so well when we first met, because it's so similar to my own philosophy. Like if I can help someone be better with their time, it then gives them more time to either serve more clients or spend with their family or do whatever it is they want to do with it. And it becomes that one to many, or like you said, exponential impact.
Yes.
So as we're talking about time, 25th hour, that's the name of the podcast. And so when you can create that extra hour every day, what do you want to do with it?
I'm glad you asked that. And this is something that we ask our clients all the time. By freeing up this extra money in the financial planning business, or by freeing up this extra time in the automation business, what is your plan for that time? Do you want to serve more clients? Do you want to acquire additional leads? Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to spend more time with your family? I love that you asked that because I think it is so important to have a plan for what you want to do with that time. Otherwise, you end up wasting it on something that you never intended to do in the first place. I mean, I'm sure you can relate to that.
Well, it's Parkinson's law.
It is.
You know, is when you can say, okay, this is what I want to do with my time, or this is what I do with my money, it doesn't float away at the edges.
Absolutely.
So, all right, so I'm in suspense.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did not mean to keep you in suspense. If I had a 25th hour in the day, I know for sure I would definitely spend it with my husband because he's a very patient man and he's a partner in my automation business, but we do feel like we never get enough time to spend together. So that would absolutely 100% be my answer.
And if I may dig a little bit more, anything in particular? Like, is it just hanging out, travel?
Honestly, we're very simple people. We moved to Arizona a couple years ago from New Jersey because we hated the cold. And we have a pool in our backyard. So honestly, we always feel like we're living on vacation every day. We don't really, I mean, we do travel a lot to see family, but we don't really feel the need to travel extensively since we've moved here. So I would say no, probably not anything in particular, just relaxing at home, talking to each other, maybe enjoying a nice dinner together. Just something relaxing where we can spend time together would be my ideal 25th hour.
Is that quality of time spent? Like if you ever do love languages, it's that quality of time, quantity of time spent with a loved one. Oh, that's yes. Not that I'm judging your answer, but I totally love that answer. And right now, way jealous of the pool because it's 90 here today as we record this episode here in Ohio. And I don't have a pool, so I am so jealous of yours. Now, who's your ideal client and how do they get in touch with you?
That is a fantastic question. And it's funny you asked this because we just went through this exercise. We're working with a marketing coach. Am I allowed to say who it is?
You are, absolutely.
It's Zoe Meggert from Perfectly Planned Content. She's awesome. So if you need somebody to help you with content strategy, I highly recommend working with her. She's also an amazing copywriter. But we worked with Zoe and we've identified our ideal client avatars. And in fact, we actually have two completely separate ones. Our ideal client avatar number one is the service-based business owner who has been in business for maybe 2 or so years or more and feels like they're overwhelmed with administrative work. to the point where they feel like they're completely at capacity and are considering hiring somebody to offload some of that administrative work. That would be our ideal client number one. Ideal client number two is somebody who's just starting out, brand new, and has no idea about how to set themselves up for success going forward. Having that clean slate really makes it easy if we can implement systems ahead of the curve to make sure that you get into good habits and that things run smoothly as you scale. So that would be our second ideal client. There are different service offerings that we have for each of those different types of clients, but absolutely either one would be perfect for us.
And how can they get a hold of you?
We have a link on our website right on the homepage. It's spynxautomation.com, and there's a link to book an intro call right at the top. Click the button, schedule it, and we get a notification. You get a confirmation with a questionnaire and fill it out. That's it.
Perfect. And I know we were chatting earlier. I believe you have a special offer for those who are listening.
Yes, we do. We're offering 10% off any of our templates through the 31st of August. That would be on our website at spynxautomation.com as well. And there will be a banner at the top, the very, very top of the page, to give you that promo code.
And so what would be some of the automations?
Yeah, so the documentation needs list generator I just mentioned to you, Lisa, would be one of those templates that we've created. And that kind of goes back to that avatar question or the ideal client question. The earlier stage client probably doesn't need as much one-on-one customized work from us. Cost, of course, is a factor. Time is a factor. You have more time and less money earlier in your business career. So what we've done is we've created templates of some of our most popular forms. We've had, actually Zoe helped us create some email campaign templates that you can use to customize that and implement that in your business. So those are available all on our website. And again, that's spynxautomation.com. And if you have the time, go ahead, set up the template, customize it. There's instructions to do that along with the template purchase. And that will allow you to get up and running as fast as possible without having to go through that learning curve of figuring out how to do it on your own.
That is a great offer. So thank you for offering that to our community. And thank you for being a guest here today. I highly encourage you, if you are looking for how can you automate your processes a little bit better, there's no one better to reach out to. So make sure that you do so. And if you're looking for ways to figure out how to be more efficient and more effective and more productive, I implore you, go to impactivestrategies.com/quiz. And there's a 2-minute quiz there that'll give you a couple ideas. So thank you for being a guest again, Arielle. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much again for having me, Lisa. I really appreciate it.